I got the cards in today from UDX62, 462, sorry about that. 462 over New Zealand. So I got them today in the mail. You guys see it? And each one is very different. There's the New Zealand flag. And this is some of the stuff here. I want to thank the UDX462, the Scarecrow of New Zealand. Gordon sent all the stuff today. It finally came today. These are definitely different ones. These are the QSL contacts I made with him. You guys see, this is the ones he wrote a while back. From 2025 and 2020. Yeah, 2024 I think it was. 2025 goes back far back. That's from December 4, 2025. That was on channel 30. I think that's 36 or 30. It's actually 33. Channel 33. You guys see it right there. Move here. You guys can see it. And it's very cool. And you guys can pause that later and look at it. It was the President Grant 1 that Mobile did, and this is a different one he has. I'm going to look at it again. This is another contact I made back in channel 36, lower sideband. The other one was lower sideband too. Channel 33 was the other one. So this is the one that goes back from April 21st, 2025. That's probably the first time I talked to him with this radio on channel 36. So I was in that area on channel 36 that way, yep. April 20th, 2025, that's what he was saying. It was during the Happy Easter. If I happened to meet on April 2020, April 20th, 2025 for me in the United States. He was on the Galaxy 959, you guys could see that. Pretty cool. And this was the one I made contacts back in 2025. And I think this was the last one we made a contact with him this week. This was different cards. Those are the contacts, the QSL cards he wrote down a while back. And he told me these are different cards. So we got a lot of great here today. I'm glad UDX462. If you guys want to see QSL cards on our channel, you guys know the drill. And we're having some great weather right now, but by this week it'll be kind of cold again. So these are all the things of New Zealand. That's probably their mascot, and that's probably their state bird, like here in the United States, and like the state flower, or that's what they usually, probably that's where they live in. And this is probably their state tree. Looks like a fern type tree. It looks like a fern. And it's like the ones I've seen in Oregon, Northern California, like the redwoods or our area. And he's got a lot of things here. And this is actually his phone number, so I don't mind we put it out there on the internet. We can even call this number because we're in the States. Those are international phone numbers. So that's his business. He does a lot of recycle stuff. That's cool. But that's awesome. So this guy probably collects cans and stuff. And he's got a lot of stuff on the back of this. So that's his business. Cool. So this guy knows about metal and stuff. Maybe he can make one of these custom pole systems for my kind of system. He probably can build towers out of this with all this metal. And would it be cool you can do that? So we do have a recycle place where I live here where they can do cans here. And they do all kinds of metal stuff. That's pretty cool. This guy does a lot of stuff. He probably recycle electronics too. If you recycle caps and stuff, let us know about that. Maybe you could send some to some of the guys out there. And these are some old QSL cards you got back in the 50s and 60s. And that's what he's talking about. And he's talking about all the stuff here. This is the same stuff Wagon Master got a while back. Pretty cool. I'll probably have to read these a little later. I just got them in the mail because I was out today going get some kind of break and stuff today. Going out to my local area to get some things. I know conditions are not good today. So we're going to be getting that Madison tomorrow. So I put my big dogs outside today in the big pen. And probably going to get some more cold weather. They call it the fall springs in Tennessee. Our spring doesn't kick in until like after around March. So we're just having a little break from the colds for the next few days. This is a card from 1975 to 1995. Cool. And I'll have to look at these a little later. These are from New Zealand. Pretty cool. We never get to see these over in the States, but pretty awesome. This one's a nice green color. It's got the New Zealand bird. Is that a sandpiper? What's that bird called? Is that a sandpiper bird? It looks like a sandpiper like we have in the States, but it's probably a different bird. It looks almost like a version of a sandpiper that eats on stuff, or probably different kinds. So this is the one I got here. He's talking about his father here and stuff like that. Named Eddie Lowe. So this is talking about the radios and stuff like the Drake TR7 stuff like that. And it talks about from 1952 to 1995. So he's probably been passed away since I was 15 years old. That's the year my dad's uncle died, and he's spread over Lake Okeechobee ashes. Yeah, I was 15 years old when that came out. 95, I was like 14 to 15. And I was in homeschool that year in 95 through 98. But yeah, to 96, yeah, 98. But so yeah, I was 15 years old and I was still on the C radio in 1995 in Hollywood, Florida. For 1995, starting at the end of 1995, I was on that year when I got my first base station in December 25th with the Radio Shack base station, and it went on through the rest of the year 1996 until 1997 when it started smoking up on the left side of the grill, right in the probably in the middle of the back. That's the only thing that happened once, and you guys know about the story. So yeah, I was on the radio on the base station for almost a year, and plus I was on the CB from 1994 to 1997 when that happened. So yeah, that's how long I've been on the radio, and then I got back into C radio till like 2018 when I got my Cobra base station. But it was my TRC 418 is when I got in with the C radio when I got my mobile station. Ever since I was on the C radio back in 1997. Yeah, it's true. Because the last time I talked on the C radio was back in 1998 in Hollywood, Florida, with one of my next door neighbors. Because one of my other next door neighbors died from a heart attack in his sleep because my dad was doing CPR. And I talked to my next door neighbor on the C radio about a mile away, and he knew the guy. So that's the last time I talked on the C radio was back in 1998. But my dad had one in until 2004, 2003, when his antenna got smashed under a parking garage in Gainesville, Florida, and he still had the Radio Shack mobile system, which it worn out the knobs and stuff in his F250. That's when it happened, in 1994 F250, until he got his new F250, the 2002 one. That was the last pickup truck he owned. So I just want to let you know this is pretty cool. So yeah, a lot of great QSL cards today, but this is something about Rebuilt Free Radio Network. We'll have to look at the site, what's about. We don't know what this is. We'll check that out later. It's actually radio. It's called rebuiltfree.com. So we need to look at that site. So this is some great, and this is some cool. This is a cool QSL card with this nice base station. Pretty cool. That is so retro stuff. And what he's talking about here, I think that's the Drake he's talking about. This is the USU FT200. That is a nice radio. This card's from 1971 to 1976. Question, yeah. And then this is like a tube radio of some kind, but pretty cool. This thing's built like a rig. It is going to build to last long. Looks almost like my Kenwood TS 520 SE. It's pretty cool. It's got that cool turn type mic or Kenwood mic, but it's a USU mic. That is something cool. Man, I don't know. Maybe you can show me one of this radio if it does on 11 meters. That'd be cool on 27 megahertz. I bet this thing would be doing a lot of great things on the meter. But that's probably his father's radio. This looks pretty awesome. This guy knew what he was doing back then. And that's why he had a great sounding station, it looks like. But it looks almost the same design as the USU FT101E X or something like that. And mostly the Kenwood TS 520 SE. Same design. It's all built all that Japanese type quality back then. Pretty nice. So, and this is what he gave me the New Zealand flag. Never had one of these before. Never had one of these in my life, man. I appreciate it, man. And go check him out. UDX462 out there on YouTube. You'll see some videos of me, his radios out there. Go check out the Scarecrow. 41 Division, November, Zulu. UDX462 North Palmerston, North Island, North New Zealand. So that's what it is. And this came almost 7,000 miles away, almost 7,000 miles away. That's about quite right. And he's in New Zealand called the Scarecrow. That is him. I bet we can make this thing a little AI to talk on the little videos if someone could do that. Let me give you guys a zoom of that. If you want to make an AI video of that little cool New Zealand dude, the Scarecrow, go ahead, do it. Make something cool about him. And that looks like the mountain in the background, and this is the island of New Zealand right there. Pretty cool. So I want to thank the UDX468, thanks to UDX462 over in New Zealand. And we'll be showing more of these QSL cards on some of the live streams when we do our video gates. You guys know how to do it on the cell phone thing when I showed out, or when I do on that. I'm supposed to get that President Grant tomorrow. Then we're probably going to be working on that. That President Madison tomorrow. And I'll probably be working on that grant to try to get the solder of the caps in here. I'll have to look through it, mark with my laser pointer, and mark the caps and stuff. I'll have to take some time to do that. So once we get our Madison set up to get everything going and make sure everything's good, because conditions are not going to be good for the next few days. Today's supposed to be poor conditions in our area. I looked at on the Roman Charlie International group on the internet a while ago, where they were talking about the DX conditions. And next week it's going to be bad conditions. It shows the KPX solar flares are going to go up. So yeah, so check this out. Go look them up. 462 the Scarecrow, and if you type that in there, 41 Division November Zulu 462, you'll find him. And he goes by UDX462. He just joined the United Delta X-Ray not too long ago. If you find UDX462 on YouTube, you'll find all his videos. Go check out his channel, subscribe to it, get a like to it. And I think, man, I appreciate the QSL cards. Thanks for sending me. It took a while to get here, but they made it. So everything is well intact. And check them out. The Scarecrow, UDX462 over New Zealand, from UDX362, Knoxville, Tennessee, getting on down. Oh, yeah. And we'll see you out there on the airways. We'll be talking to him out there, making that skip. And I made some great contacts to him with that President Grant 1. Imagine the Madison is going to do something cool. And the Core 139. But you guys, make sure if you make contacts with him, get a QSL card. He'll send you a lot of good stuff with this. And I'm sure he'll send us a lot more in the near future. So check him out. The UDX462 over New Zealand, the Scarecrow, from the Foxman 362. UDX362 over Knoxville, Tennessee, getting on down. And we'll see you out there on the radio waves soon. And I'll tell you, he was banging on the meters for sure. Oh yeah.